Hey guys, today I want to talk about how to elevate yourself during tough times or during stressful situations. Because I feel like everybody goes through tough times, and I feel like for that reason, I want to talk about it. Now, whether it's financial issues, relationship issues, job issues, let's say you hate the job but you're forced to work for a paycheck, or just general issues in life, or just tough times, everybody goes through tough times regardless, right? Now, let's talk about how to alchemize this to create yourself a better version of yourself. For example, let's say you're an overweight individual and you're getting a lot of hate for it. Let's just say, oh, you're fat, you need to lose weight, you're fat, this and that. Those hate words, you can alchemize that. Now, a lot of times this actually does happen with people. They get hate and then they're like, you know what, I'm going to lose this weight. Because of that, I'm going to use that as a drive to lose the weight and improve myself. So they end up losing the weight. And guess what? That hate, they alchemize it to something good. And so you can apply this type of force to a lot of sections in life, right? Because I feel like every time you go through a stressful situation, it's a chance for yourself to evolve and to better yourself. I feel like life isn't what happens to you, life is how you respond to it. Because again, life isn't about what you achieve, it's about what you overcome, right? So if you keep messing up in life, you're gonna keep getting thrown to the same cycle over and over until you learn the lesson. Because if something's happened to you over and over again, clearly you got to change something, right? I mean, that's kind of the point of the universe is trying to teach you. Hey, you got to try something else. You got to change. Because if you don't change, well, what's going to end up happening? You're going to stay in the loop of suffering. And I do believe suffering is a choice. Because a lot of times people have the liberty and freedom to do whatever they want, but they choose to stay there. Now, I can make a whole other topic about this situation, but for now, let's just swipe to another one. And the reason I'm saying this and bringing it up about how to elevate yourself during tough times is because a lot of times the universe is trying to teach you something in this situation. The seven hermetic principles, mind, all is mind and mind is all. Your outer reflection is the reflection of your inner self. So whatever's happening in your exterior life, it's going down right here. Something's happening interiorly where you're magnetizing these energies towards you. You're projecting them. Because these thoughts, first your thoughts come up here from the etheric realm, and then they project out in the physical realm. How do you think the table was made? How do you think the phone was made? Through imagination. So imagination is something very powerful. It is God's eye. It is God's mind. And you got to realize that in a lot of times in situations, in a lot of these situations, you can change the way you see life. You can treat people with more respect. Because the first thing is you don't want to victimize yourself no matter what situation you are. Don't out-victimize yourself. Have a steady mind and think, you know what? I can fix this. I can change this. That is the growth mindset. You don't want to have a fixed mindset. And a lot of times, I've seen a lot of times, many times, I've seen a lot of times where people would waste money on drugs. And then at the end of the next day, like, oh man, I don't have money for this. I don't know why this keeps happening to me. Well, you're wasting that energy, that money, that frequency into something that's not serving you. And because it's not serving you, well, what do you think is going to happen? You're not going to have enough money to actually buy the stuff you need because you're wasting that money on things you don't need. And this happens over and over, and then guess what? It stays in the loop. And a lot of times people realize that they're in that loop, but they choose, like I said, they choose to stay in that situation. And that's why I said suffering is a choice. That can apply to a lot of situations people are in. And in relationship, for example, you are getting abused in a relationship. It's domestic abuse in that relationship. But you choose to stay in that relationship. You're choosing there. A lot of these people, they choose to stay in domestic abuse relationships, right? Because maybe they have nowhere else to go, or they're being manipulated, going through narcissistic abuse. It could be a lot of different reasons for that. But at the end of the day, you have the choice to liberate yourself. And especially during tough times, I like to say this: hope is like a sword you can put on your back or take it off. Because no matter what situation you're in, as long as you have hope, you can give it to yourself no matter what situation you're in. And you can take it away anytime. And it's always up to you. And for that reason, you can always change your destiny in life. And I'm speaking through experience because I've messed up quite a bit of times in life. So I just want to talk about how to elevate yourself during tough times. And I wanted to bring this up because I feel like someone needed to hear this message. Thank you very much, and